Zhuang Liehong had made 3 plans to get from his village in China to New York. In the first, the American embassy would simply send someone to pick him up. He envisioned a midnight escape, cars waiting in the shadows along the uneven, trash-filled fields on the outskirts of his village. He felt sure, when he considered the plan, that the Americans would be sympathetic to his situation. He was a lover of democracy, trapped in a corrupt corner of Guangdong province. If the plan were to work, it would have to be secret. His friends would wake the next morning to find him vanished. By the time the news spread, he would be on a plane heading toward a new life. In a second plan, Zhuang would flee by sea. He had learned that Guam, a mere 2,000 miles from the Guangdong coastline, was U.S. territory. This plan made it closer to execution. He went to work on a friend's fishing boat in Wukan Bay in preparation. 10 grueling hours on a wooden plank boat, fully exposed to the sun, and purchased slightly too much fuel each time, stockpiling it slowly so no one would notice. He planned to buy 2 motors. "Just in case one died," he said. "I would use one some of the time and then switch them. Sometimes I would use them both and vroom." He would wait until the 2 months of the year when the intervening stretch of ocean was at its calmest, the swells low and rolling, the water undisturbed by typhoons. Then he would take a tiny boat out into the expanse of the South China Sea. He estimated the trip would take about 10 days. He could make it if he had to. Zhuang was a man of Wukan village, a proud former village leader on the ragged outskirts of Guangdong province's manufacturing boom. He was on the verge of 30, stocky and compact, meticulous about his appearance but always slightly out of style. His crooked teeth gave away a childhood spent in poverty, but he was not self-conscious about them. He grinned while greeting people on the street, pouring tea in his tea shop, or singing at the local KTV. He smiled relentlessly in the face of danger or embarrassment. He suffered from the occasional lapse in reading social cues and fought it with volume, warmth, and a strong handshake. During the summer of 2013, paranoia overtook Zhuang's home village, and he recognized the feeling of trouble on the horizon. The shadowy forces of the county-level government, people he had rebelled against a few years before, were returning to Wukan. His friends were sure that their phones had been tapped by local security forces, the lackeys of corrupt officials. A propaganda official had taken up residence in a local school. Zhuang took the extra precaution of hiding his cell phone in the back of his tea shop whenever he discussed politics. He had heard rumors that government spies could turn them on remotely and listen in. There was a time when Zhuang had run headlong into political turmoil. He had led protests, helped spark at least one riot, and argued with police interrogators over cigarettes. He had seen his friends kidnapped by thugs and his village invaded, and he had mourned a friend who died in police custody. But now, Zhuang had a wife and a son. Now he understood the consequences of protest and revolution. He did not want to end up in jail, fearing for his life, worrying about his family. So he made plans and counterplans. He schemed while sitting in his tea shop, a storefront business he had opened along the smaller of the 2 main arteries that ran through his village. He pulled up the storefront barrier and sat behind sliding glass doors, watching the rain hit the metal awnings that shaded the shops, and the sun return to bake the scoured concrete of the lane. Zhuang first opened the shop in late 2012, when it was nice out and the political pressure more remote. He left the glass doors open to the street and blasted Michael Jackson. He brewed pot after pot of tea, serving it to his friends, who threw around cigarettes before they sat down on the pleather-encased stools Zhuang had placed around a monstrous wooden desk.